Good morning. It is Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026, and we're here for a consent agenda review work session. Morning, Cindy.
Good morning. I'm just looking for a parking spot. I'll be right there.
Okay. I didn't see anything on the consent agenda that I was worried about or anything that was too crazy. You go out to that meeting with those guys out at Mountain Drive?
No.
Or is that they did that on their own?
They did it on their own.
I'm ready whenever you are.
The Director of Marketing, Tourism. So I will distribute the job description to the committee. Are you guys wanting comments from them, or is it meant to be an FYI?
So when I talked to one of them, talked to Sean Cardwell yesterday, and I told her that HR was going to look at that draft, this draft, and there's probably going to be some changes that would be made. I think once that's done, then we could send it over to them to get their input on it. That was my thought anyway.
Do we want their input on the job description?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of their duties. That's the committee they're on, so I think they should have some input. What are your thoughts? Or should we go offline for that?
Tourism? Are you talking about tourism?
I think we should let them review it for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Do they get to change it all? No.
That was my question. Is
They
if you
can
guys want
contribute.
some
I think they can make some comments, but
Yeah, I think they should be
I
able
think
to
they,
look at it.
Do you want them to make comments on this first draft or wait until after HR has reviewed it?
I think we should wait till after HR has reviewed it and made their changes, because at that point, I think at that point, it should be in pretty good shape. I think they're feeling like they were kind of left out on the changes for the magazine for whatever reason. I told her what our thoughts were, that, they waited till the last minute. There was no explanations. The comment that she made was about the headline, the change in the logo or whatever. They felt that it should be changed, and they had this idea of why. Nobody said anything to us about why. We just felt like it didn't fit. That was our thought.
Same thing I said.
So what, she's just calling around to make sure we're all saying
Yeah, pretty much. Are you surprised? So everybody does. See if they can find a crack.
So in that same kind of avenue, on consent this week, you have a contract amendment to Westwind Media, which is a social media manager. I worked with the civil team to get this amendment drafted up. It sets it as me being the point of contact for her, that's for the board's direction.
Correct.
The chair of tourism has reached out to Westwood Media and me also to be included in all correspondence and meetings with Westwood Media. Does the board want, Westwood's input was that she preferred having just one person be the point of contact. Does the board have a preference?
I think they just want to be kept in the loop. And it sounds like we've done some things and we have not kept tourism in the loop. And I think we need to really make a strong effort to keep them in the loop.
Yeah.
I don't know if like some of this stuff probably would not, maybe how to voucher, I think there's some things that you probably more business in that you don't need to include them in. But I think a lot of that conversation, if I were on that board, I would want to know what's going on. If you're changing something or requesting.
Well, that's the reason why we have those committees, is for them to give us input. And I told her, I said, I don't want you to feel like you can't come into our meetings and have, something to say. If you have something to say, come into our meeting and say it. I feel like they should be involved, because that's why we have them. And, they're donating their time and efforts to make sure that we put out a good product. So it would be best if they came and explained why they're doing what they're doing. Not just send it to us and say, this is it. That's my opinion. I think that would make them feel like they're more involved.
So,
I would try to include them in the contract as much as possible.
so in terms of Westwind Media, my understanding of what this was just that for the time being,
Correct.
I would just meet with her, she would give me the monthly report, which then I would present the report and her invoices to tourism at their monthly meeting.
Yeah, because I told her if, when we have a new tourism marketing director or an employee, things are gonna change, so.
And so the question is, Sean is just wanting to be at the meetings with Westwind Media, and her name is Alex, the girl that runs Westwind. Alex had said she preferred having just one person be the contact. Do you guys want Sean to be at all of the chair, to be at all of the meetings with Westwind, or do you want it to be just, do you have a preference? Just-
I really think we need to include them. So I think you could be the point of contact. You can CC tourism, invite tourism. I don't think it's gonna, tourism is kind of the vehicle that
Right.
gets everything out. So I think we need to be careful not to bypass them.
Yeah, so Sean's the point of contact, have her at the meetings, and then she can relay the information to her committee.
So that the amendment that's on consent this week is putting me as the point of contact for the time being, until you have a tourism.
You're the point of contact, but include Sean if she wants to be
Correct.
included.
Correct. I would agree with that.
Rob, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
And I don't feel like we're trying to do something.
Well, they should be included, they're.
Are we advertising for sorry, I'll let you finish typing.
Oh, you're. Advertising for.
What was your question, Cindy? Advertising for?
Oh, our clerk.
Yes, it's
Yes.
out, it's out there.
Okay,
It closes Wednesday at 5 p.m.
okay.
Have we had any more than just the one?
I haven't had any pushed through yet from HR, so they have to review it first. I am also, I don't know if this applicant was actually intending to apply for us. There's a Grant County, Oregon, and all of her experience is in Oregon. So I'm wondering if she thought that this was Grant County, Oregon that she was applying for. I don't know though. I mean, when we get there. after
Well,
closing,
typically
we
everybody
call
from
her.
Washington is trying to move out of Washington, not come to Washington, so. Who knows?
Oregon's kind of in the same boat.
I received an email, Jerry Stockton forwarded it to me, from a gentleman who has 80 acres on Drumheller, and he's interested in selling it. He wants to know if the county is interested in it for possibly some data centers moving to Lost Lake area.
What happens to be his name?
I'll send it to you I'll just forward it to you. You might want to reach out to him.
Well, no, I think probably the same guy
Oh, that you got,
I was working with.
Alfred?
That name doesn't sound familiar.
Okay, well, I just sent it to you. You might have a potential buyer.
I find myself too busy right now with all this other nonsense that I have going on. Not really.
So I received an email, I read it this morning, maybe it was an old one. No. From Tom about credit cards.
Yeah.
I think it'd be awesome if we got rid of half the credit, or, 80% of the credit cards that we have. Everybody has, I think, a travel and an office credit card. We have a lot of travel cards or credit cards kicking around.
And who manages those? Who maintains them?
Each department had, like, I don't know, I'm assuming Caitlin would handle them in our office. But we don't really disperse credit cards to everybody in our office.
We just have the one in our office that I store in my locking cabinet, and then if people need to use it, they just.
And I think we should have one per office, but that's a lot for new employees.
I got a shotgun, a rifle, and a bull.
Yeah, I think that's Kevin's answer right there.
I told myself I wasn't gonna keep my phone on silent because I missed that call the other night. But then I forget to turn on silent for meetings. Yeah, so we depend on each department head or,
Well, and they've kind of requested, I think Tom will bring it to us because Tom had the letter, just get advanced travel. And that would be easier, but. And we can do reimbursement. I guess I just assume everybody has a credit card. But
well, as
maybe
you
not.
said, I mean, you'd think that we could.
I mean, a
just
personal
do-
credit card they can use if they
Right.
need for,
We just do reimbursement.
what they can do, kind of sounded like, but. Prearranged travel, advanced travel.
How does that work if it's an advanced travel?
So just kind of a travel reimbursement, you fill it out. You know how much the hotel costs because you've got a receipt for the hotel. You get your mileage and your meals, and hopefully they've attached the agenda for the program, because a lot of times lunch or dinner is provided, and that we're not supposed to be paying twice if we pay for the conference. And then we just pay for the mileage, the meals, the hotel. If they have a tax, transportation, if they kind of figure out transportation, so it's already prepaid.
That would make the most sense. That way we don't have all these credit cards running around.
I know our office did have one though for a travel. It was submitted like in November, for travel that was happening in February. So I'd like to at least keep it in the same budget year.
I think that one was NACO, I think, wasn't it? Or, no, not an allowance claim, sorry. I was thinking of,
It was, I think, Laserfish, maybe. I don't know. They're not here anymore, who did it, so
well,
it was 2024.
Because if we don't, I mean,
So I would just like to keep it within the budget, because I thought, 6 months, something could happen within 6 months, but I could see within 30 to 60 days.
sounds like TS uses the cards a lot for,
They
Fine.
use it to buy a lot of equipment.
doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't you get an invoice? Pay an invoice and then they can ship it.
Well, I think, I don't know if it's like Amazon or they order from an online. I'm trying to think the online, when you have to pay for it, but like if Amazon could bill us later at a later date, I don't know. They do have a lot. Or if we send it, yeah, I don't know how that. I'm sure Tom's researching it.
Of course, if you pay with a credit card, that gives you a little bit of protection too, so that something happens. that they-
But some of our big purchases from TS, I think they could invoice us and we could send a payment and then,
Well, I don't think so. My question is, why did our credit limit drop to 70,000? There's gotta be a reason.
it's because we haven't been paying it on time.
Yeah.
Because it takes, for that payment to go through, everybody has to get their payments submitted to accounting, and if somebody doesn't have their payment, then there's, instead of paying it partial, they wait for everybody. They've always done that. So if our office is lagging, there have been some offices that are lagging, they get to pay the whole interest, like if it's $800 or $2,000 interest, whatever it is, they get to pay that whole balance. If our office is lagging to get a payment up there, they won't send it until,
All of them are in.
Yeah.
But is that US Bank or is that Washington Trust?
I don't know who they've used, but that's the way they've done it forever. So I don't know if it's our policy or if we need to change the policy. Would exclude that one if they're not in time.
I would think so. I mean, at least get the payment made on time so that we're not,
Well, but you've got to have it, it has to be,
does that have to be paid in full or can it be?
I think we pay it in full. No, I think we pay it in full, but we're waiting for, I think it's just a way to keep it, to make sure that everybody's paying for it and it's been accounted for instead of skipping and going back. I'm going, well, we have like 8 credit cards that we need to reconcile because, it's just always been that way. And for the most part, people know it and they get everything together. But
Well, I guess
credit cards have an opportunity for abuse and they have an opportunity for excessive fees. It's just if your office isn't watching them and it has to be, have a receipt tied to it. So I do like the idea of the travel, advanced travel.
Anybody else have anything on the consent agenda or review?
Nope.
Okay, we're going to recess until 9:30 then.
Food's pretty cheap. That's good. It's pretty good. Yeah. So-
Good morning, it is 9:30 and we're here for our sheriff's office update.
Make me hungry.
Good morning, Joy.
Good morning. First of all, Caitlin, I'm sorry about the proclamation or that we did for the safety thing. It was tough to figure out at 11:30 at night for our things that we needed to have done. So first of all, apologies for that. But I guess moving forward, I know that we need to get you in the loop and on board, and I just don't know how to do that like 11:30 at night.
for the emergency ones, as long as I get CC'd in there, just because,
Okay,
just so we can make sure it gets processed afterwards. The
Okay.
emergency proclamations, as far as like the like serial meeting goes, it
Yeah.
just kind of goes out the window because it's an emergency.
Okay,
We just need to have our office CC'd so we can make sure it gets processed correctly.
so you don't actually need to
afterwards.
be there at night, just as long as you're included in all the communication.
Right.
Gotcha, okay, that makes total sense, okay, perfect. Okay, I think I'm good with that now, so, again, I'm sorry about that, I was, like I said, kind of learning on the fly and I kind of talked Rob into something, I think, I'm not sure. But we had to have it done, I knew that, so, yeah. We're erring on the side of caution and it was with good intent for sure, so. Just a little bit more update on that. Our emergency management is communicating with the cities and municipalities in the county to collect information from them for any type of loss that they've suffered in the cities. We're collecting that information and sending it off to the state, the emergency management for the state side, to see if we're gonna meet the threshold of the assistance, or federal or state assistance. The threshold is extremely high. I don't think we're gonna meet it, but we're still gonna check and see if we can meet that. Apparently it also has to be, with public property, it won't do anything with private property. So, I know there's kind of been a mix, it sounds like, within the cities, but our emergency management is working with the cities to try to get that worked out, to see if there is any assistance that we can help them get from the state or federal government, so we're working with them about the storm. We've had, this is kind of something we had a couple years ago as well. One of our detectives just recognized that he was having the incorrect amount of federal taxes taken out of his check that were reflected on his W-2 form. He made the proper notes, the proper notation on there. However, the proper deductions were not being done. I don't
Was
know
this
how
federal?
much, I'm
Was it
sorry,
just federal or social security and Medicare?
federal.
Okay, just federal.
Yeah. I don't know what, as the detail that accounting knew about this, other than they were familiar with it because the answer they gave was apparently GP wasn't working the right way and was glitching. I don't know if they knew, what I don't know is if they knew specifically who was affecting or if it was just globally could be a glitch in the system. That I don't know. But they said that their GP isn't working, they're not financial advisors, sorry, you're gonna just have to have more money withdrawn out of your check to cover the taxes that we didn't take out.
So they didn't take enough out? Is
They
that
didn't
what
take
the
enough
problem-
out, yeah. From what it was filled out on his W-2 was correctly filled out. It just, his deductions were not reflecting what it should have been taken out from his W-2 that he filled out. So, I don't know how many more this is affecting. It happened to one of our other employees about 2 years ago. Apparently accounting is aware of it. Again, like I said, I think they're just aware, from what I understand, they're aware that there is a glitch in somewhere in the system. They say apparently Tyler's gonna fix it. But that doesn't fix the problem if there's more county employees that have the same issue. So I have no clue if there's any more from my office. And quite honestly, I don't even know if I'm one of them because I haven't looked. I haven't. The detective just happened to be looking and found that his deductions were not correct. So, again, like I said, I don't think accounting's aware of specific employees. If they are aware, I just know there hasn't been any communication that has come down that I've seen. I said, be aware, here's the problems we have with GP. If your deductions are not correct, please double check those. Report to accounting if your deductions are not correct. I just have not seen any communication. Not saying they haven't gone out. I see a lot of emails every day. I just myself don't recall that one. I don't know if anybody else does or not, but
First I heard of it.
yeah.
Yeah, well, typically, if you have a large increase in your check, it's usually a pretty good idea to
Mhm.
go ask and say, hey, I see I'm making a lot more of this
Yeah,
this month than I typically do.
yeah, and so I was a little bit,
I'm not sure what.
if our employees are filling out their paperwork correctly, it should be reflected correctly in the software.
Should be,
And-
yeah,
and-
and I haven't heard, we've had a couple instances of employees that it's their social security and Medicaid,
Mhm.
they're not, and it was just a few. I don't know if they were entered incorrect, I don't know what happened, but that wasn't done correctly, but on the federal, I haven't, you're the first one that has brought forward
Yeah.
where the federal is incorrect.
Yeah, and this happened to one of our corrections sergeants a couple of years ago too. And it was it was on the federal side of the taxes, so.
Did he say how much that, what the amount is
He
gonna
didn't.
be?
I could probably find out from Sheena. She would tell me. She's the one that got the information. So, I just kind of wanted you to be aware because I don't know if anybody else is going to come up with this issue or not. So I didn't want
Okay.
you to be
No, thanks for sharing.
blindsided.
Yeah,
So,
we haven't.
Well, yeah, my concern is if it's happened to one, it's probably happened to.
well, it's already happened to two people in my office, just obviously 2 years apart, but
Right.
it has happened twice now. So, that's kind of that's bothersome a little bit. So knowing that, because a lot of people just don't look that close. I mean, I don't look that close to my check stub.
Well,
Until-
usually at the end of the year, you know when you're way off because your accountant will tell you, or
Yeah.
as you're getting your taxes,
Yes.
like, ooh.
Exactly. And then the thing with us as electeds, it's the same. It's the same check every time anyway. So, I know exactly what I'm gonna be getting. And if that changes, of course, that'll send off some red flags, but
Sure.
mine hasn't changed. And so I don't think mine's an issue. I just don't know how many other employees out there that are having a
Yeah, especially
change in their wages.
when
That's
you're
gonna,
hourly, it's kind of hard to track that because.
Yeah.
32 hours one week and 48 the next.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna change every time.
Mhm. So, anyway, just to give you a heads up on that,
No, thanks for that.
yeah.
Always something.
Yeah, I know, it's always something, that's for sure. And then we have, the Freedom Con that's coming up at the Gorge here in a couple weeks, I believe. But we're gonna be having extra security for us as well as on behalf of Live Nation. They're going to be as well. We're preparing for if there could be a risk of some type of protesters. And developing a plan of what that's gonna look like, if that's the case, to include reaching out to partnering agencies to kind of let them know that if it goes to hell, we're gonna be calling and asking for
Be
help.
ready.
So, yeah, to be ready. So, we're trying to prepare for that as moving forward at the Gorge time. So, yeah.
So is that a musical or is that more
No.
of a, I'm just.
It's kind of
looking at-
more of the, like the turning point.
Okay, that's kind of
yeah,
what I'm
with-
finding.
Yeah,
Okay.
that type of thing. Um,
Rise of the Statesman.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep,
So,
it says right here, the Gorge Amphitheater. Okay, I just was thinking it was a musical venue.
no,
Okay.
no.
We are working with Public Works. Kate, our new engineer, is gonna reach out and get their traffic plan that they're supposed to submit each year.
Mhm.
Failed to do it this year. Remind them they can't do traffic storage on our county roads.
Mhm.
I mean, once traffic stops, that means
Right.
they're bottlenecked, so.
Right, and that's the thing that we're gonna communicate with is with whoever the, so for instance, if we do have some protesters that do show up, we'll go meet with whoever is the coordinator of that group and let them know, here are the rules. I mean, because most of it's private property. There's no public property down in that area to protest. It's all, they're gonna be trespassing or blocking county roadway, and that's a problem, right? And so, but we'll make sure that we share that information with whoever it is, if that does happen, so they're very well aware what the rules are, where you can and cannot
I
gather,
don't
so.
really think that'll be anybody local that will be protesting, but I'm sure they will come from afar.
Yeah, I'm sure they will,
Probably not
and,
even that far in our state that will.
and we may not have the problem, but we're gonna
Uh-huh.
prepare for it in case we do, so. Just looking forward into that. Also, I think I mentioned this at the last update about Gorge, this kind of just reminded me about Gorge traffic. And I know Cindy, you've had some conversations with
What?
Bryce in Sunland?
Bryce, and then, I think is Bryce the new?
I can't remember the other person's name.
David Strauss.
Is that who it is, David?
David's the new general manager.
Okay, gotcha. Anyway, we've already been kind of, working with Live Nation, and the problem was, I think I discussed about the same day. They had a couple events, the same day traffic was coming in, which caused the problem, instead of having a day early entry into the facility, so. I think we have that worked out with them, and we shouldn't have the level of the traffic problem that we had Memorial Weekend, so it should be a lot better moving forward, just because that was the big problem. It wasn't anything that we could control or Public Works can control. I mean, it was kind of a planning thing with Live Nation, so. But anyway, as far as the traffic goes, I think we're gonna be in a good place with them and have a good plan moving forward. Other than that, I really don't have anything else that I can think of off the top of my head, so. Yeah. We fared pretty well from the storm, quite frankly. I mean, it was bad, but It could have been a whole heck of a lot worse, that's for sure. We'll probably leave that, that proclamation open until we get an answer from the state about what their resources are gonna be, so. I know originally we planned on getting that kind of wrapped up this week, but I think we're gonna leave it open just a little longer until the state can decide what they're gonna do, so, yeah.
Do you know what the threshold is for?
It's in the millions, as far as I understand. It's pretty high. It's pretty high. EM's Maria is gonna let me know what that is, but it's, from what I understand, it's in the millions of dollars. So,
I'd be surprised if we make that.
yeah, and I would be too, because like I said, there's a lot of damage that happened on private property, you know, I'm thinking like the golf course with all the trees that went down, you know, and the city park and all of that. But city park is public property, but
Right.
golf course isn't, you
So
know.
this Conley Park would be considered private too?
I believe so, because it's owned by the Rehabilitation Irrigation District, yeah.
They
So
got hit pretty good too.
I don't know if that would come into public because it's a public
Open to the
use.
public?
Yeah, there's probably some gray area in that, I would think. Yeah, I just don't know. That's EM's gonna have to check that to see what would qualify and what not. And like I said, they're working with the state. It's one of those things I'm glad we're not good at yet. We're learning still, because that means it wouldn't be happening too often if we were really good at it. So I'm
Yeah.
okay with learning that process.
Hopefully it doesn't happen for a long, long time again.
Yeah, that would be amazing if it would, if it would be on the hold for that, for sure, yeah. So, that's all I got. I don't know if the board has anything for me or any questions or anything.
No, I'm trying to look at the limit for natural
Tom.
disaster.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
I just see the payout cash per like household.
Yeah, I'm not, there's, EM's, I think, got the documentation from the state and the federal government as far as what that threshold is. The only thing that they've said is it's in the millions. They don't have an exact amount, but it's substantially high. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, we're not gonna make that.
Yeah. We'll submit. I mean, all we can do is ask. In worst case scenario, we're just told no. So,
Yeah.
there's no risk of getting the support if we don't ask. So we're not afraid to ask, and no is an okay answer.
Yeah, might as
So-
well ask.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Tom, you got any questions for Joy this morning?
I just emailed with Phil today. He's gonna coordinate with Leidig on the distributed antenna system.
Oh, yes.
Trying to figure that out. That's an incredibly expensive deal.
We ran into that when we did it in the current facility that we have. It was kind of crazy. We ended up getting the three bids that came back, 3 quotes. There was one, of course, this was back, shoot, Tom, this is pre-COVID. I mean, the prices went crazy, right? But they ranged anywhere from, if I remember right, 150,000 clear down to like 30,000. And we obviously went with the 30,000 one, and it worked great. It worked perfectly fine. And I think Phil's trying to reach out to, I'm gonna say Raycom. I know they used to be Spectrum, but I think they're Raycom now. And that's who did the facility over here.
Well, we're
So-
hoping that they can beat the $230,000 that we're.
Well, they did last time. I'm not saying they will,
Oh,
but
I know.
they definitely substantially did last time, so.
Just can't believe it's that expensive.
Well, I wasn't shocked because pre-COVID it was 150. So that didn't shock me. I mean, it's ridiculous.
So this is an antenna system that, because the jail is built with solid brick walls and lots of steel, it's like a giant Faraday cage. So as you try and communicate, the radio frequencies don't travel all throughout the jail because they get blocked. So you have to have what's called a distributed antenna system throughout the jail. We had a quote from a company at like $360,000 to do this. And as we were discussing it with them, it was supposed to be directly between them and the county. They involved MAC and the sheriff and Moses Lake PD, and they started calling all kinds of people in to talk about how they were gonna coordinate this. Leidig fired them. Said that they were working well outside of contract. So then we got another company to give us a price, and that price was $230,000. It was like, holy cow, you gotta be kidding me. The interesting thing is it's code that distributed antenna system work, and it's the fire marshal that signs that off, but we got signed off without it being completed. So we have a certificate of occupancy and we can occupy, but it comes down to a risk question. If something were to happen and they weren't able to get radio communications in the jail, then that would come back on the county then. So we kind of have to address it.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to do it for far cheaper than
Yeah.
$200,000+.
And a little bit of it's not gonna slow anything down. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And this is because we have 2 dead spots. 2. And that's what it costs to eliminate 2 dead spots. They work everywhere. But
The,
Unalive.
Hmm?
Unalive,
yes,
not, you're not.
not,
supposed to say
not
dead,
covered,
unalive.
not,
Yeah, I think you're supposed to say it.
dead
That's the big
zone,
word,
yeah.
Unalive.
sorry.
Anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
a little bit of I guess, not necessarily a good thing because it's not gonna slow the process down like what Tom's talking about, but we are going to be delayed getting inmates up there till probably August, which is not a bad thing when it comes to the radio system.
I
That
thought
way,
that was kind of the plan anyway. Was
it was kind of depending on where the training was at with our staff. If our staff was trained up, really dialed in by mid-July, we would do the move then, but we're still thinking probably the first part of August, so.
And you guys are transitioning slowly up right now, correct?
Not yet, not until possibly, most likely next week.
Okay.
Of course, it depends on furniture thing and stuff like that right now.
You're still
Gary's
getting
up there right
furniture
now.
put together, aren't you?
Yeah, what's
Okay.
that?
You're still getting furniture put
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, when I was up there last week, they were still, our meeting room's still packed full of boxes and there's a lot of offices don't have
Well,
furniture.
well,
there
we've
yet.
been up
But
there.
they're getting there.
Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
getting furniture right
yeah,
and left.
yeah, they're getting there. It's a lot. I mean, it is a big project getting furniture together,
So did you get I don't know, one of the rooms you had some questions, you wanted to move the
Our
furniture
records
around.
room, where our record staff
Yeah.
is gonna be, like right now, they've got, so if you've been in our office, you see what the workstations look like for our record staff, and even over the control room in the jail. They have a couple monitors and a scanner, in their workspace there. The workstations that are there now, I don't know what the dimensions are off the top of my head, but I'm gonna,
Just depends. They're
Yeah.
different. They're different from room to room.
yeah, in the records room, which is kind of the room off the hallway by the corrections staff and the warrants room. The workstations are roughly 3.5, maybe 4 feet long. I think 4 might be pushing it, maybe a little bit. And then the depth is probably 2.5 feet deep. The workstations just aren't wide enough and big enough for what they have for equipment wise. And if you had 2 people sitting back to back, they wouldn't be able to get up out of their workstations at the same time to go out without running into each other. And Tom was right in a conversation that we had, is that these have been in the plans for a while. But we were given direction by the architect and the furniture person to keep as many people out of this as possible, because you get too many fingers in it, which isn't a bad thing, you know that as well. You get too many fingers in it, then everybody wants to give their input. Well, shame on us, we probably should have included some of our stakeholders that perform those job duties to give us a different perspective, because we didn't. And that room got set up the way it is because we just didn't have enough.
So will it
We
work,
limited it too
or-
much. You're gonna have to correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, when I say this, please. We're trying to go through and repurpose some of the furniture that we have, we're trying to, without buying more, to remove these small cubicle spaces to bring in larger workspaces, and we can repurpose the workstations maybe in areas that we may have docking stations for people to come in, patrol staff to come in, or people that are kind of in and out of the office and not stationed to work there every day. So we're trying to repurpose what we already purchased instead of purchasing anything new.
And since this happened last week while I was over on the west side, we haven't had a chance to talk about
Yeah,
it. So
yeah.
the biggest concerns are, the lead time is 6 to 8 weeks for this furniture, so, and once you purchase it, there is no returning it,
Right.
so you're done. The other thing that was surprising to us was that some of those workstations had uppers that were attached to the cinder block walls. So those were being taken down, and now there's holes in cinder block. It's not drywall. This isn't a block walls.
Right.
So all of a sudden, this brand new facility that we haven't even moved into yet is gonna have repairs that are gonna be visible. which is, disappointing.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I
And
agree.
and there's always going to be a cost associated with this. So while we are trying to repurpose that stuff and move it around, we're really trying to get to a point where it's like, wait a minute.
Well, it almost sounded like, Tom, were you not included in that conversation until after the fact?
It was after the fact, and some of that, once all the furniture was purchased, right, we had to have a point person. I wasn't gonna dictate to Gary,
Sure.
what people's workstations were gonna be. So Gary was, hey, Gary, do
Okay.
you wanna take this? Yeah, Gary took it, so, but everything was purchased, right? So he went through it, and to Gary's credit, the original plan, when he went through it with Gloria at CDA, he reduced the cost by some 50 grand. There was things that he saw in there, it was like, we don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need this. So there was a lot of great changes. So I thought it was just done. So this just came as a surprise because everything was done, it was ordered, it had gone through. So it was kind of a shock, because
Yeah,
I
and it
know how
was-
expensive this stuff is.
Yeah.
And then to being repairing walls.
Well,
So
It was a shock to us too. I mean, it was. I mean, we felt pretty bad when it came down to it, and we did our walkthrough with the staff, and they went, we can't even fit our equipment on here, let alone if we had to have a phone and a notepad.
So in a change order,
You know.
because it's construction, we
we
don't.
we haven't seen a change yet from Gloria. We haven't seen a change in the charges, so we're asking for that. We're saying, hold
Oh,
on.
yeah, because I
What
think
is
we
this
need
gonna
to.
cost us? Yeah, so, before we go any further, I think Kevin sent that email to Gloria, so.
Yeah, I think, well, Gary's up there today. I think they're probably going over and talking about things today, I would
And then
imagine.
tomorrow, we can walk around, eat hot dogs, looking at it.
I mean, hot dogs.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
they're
hear when
doing,
they're
they're doing
opening
hot
up the
dogs and
kitchen?
corn and beans tomorrow up at the kitchen.
We're having the county barbecue tomorrow. I can't.
Tomorrow.
The county hot dog feed.
They were only
You
doing
know,
it
it used
for,
to be like around this time
Yeah.
of the year.
I talked about this in my update yesterday.
Yeah,
a
it's
little
like
bit.
50 people.
Yeah, there's only like 50, so it's not like a giant invites going out, so, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of staff up there.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be. I think they're up there with the kitchen manufacturers or,
They'll be getting the hot dogs into little hors d'oeuvre size hot dogs.
yeah,
Feed everybody.
teaching our staff how to use the equipment.
I do have something I'd like to talk about, in executive session, and it would be about, I guess, personnel disciplinary, or trying to avoid it. And Caitlin, you can stay for this because you're gonna be part of this too. We can just take,
6 minutes?
6 minutes.
Oh, look at that, right to the
We're
line.
gonna go into executive session for 6 minutes under personnel disciplinary matters, RCW 42.30.1101F,
HR could be in here too.
10 a.m.
Yeah. come on in. Yeah, well, no, yeah.
They'll have an answer that we don't want
Morning,
to know.
it's 10:01 and we are out of executive session and no decisions were made.
And then, CAB meeting this week, you're not gonna be able to attend?
Are you gonna have a candidate there?
We might have upwards of 3.
Okay, there is a possibility that one of the candidates will be there, that the commissioners will be interviewing at the end of the month. So I do not want to be the one that has to step back because
Gotcha.
of conflict, so
Okay.
nothing against.
No, that's
I
fine, that's
just am trying
fine.
to
Thank
keep
you.
a very
No.
solid,
All good.
Division.
Yeah, smart. All good, all good.
I don't know who's on that list. I did try to
Uh,
talk Daryl into running.
Yeah, I'm not sure who is gonna show. The invitations, I will tell you, the invitations went out to Shannon, and they went out to Clayton, and they went out to Trevor for Spirit Court. So we have an opportunity for 3 of them to be there.
Oh, I'm thinking, yeah, so they're all different departments. Okay, I was thinking the two were,
No.
okay, it just takes a minute to
I
just register.
I wouldn't put like 2
Okay,
commissioner candidates at the same one or 2 sheriff's candidates at the same
no,
one.
thank you for doing that.
Yeah,
I was,
yeah.
took me a minute to,
Now, they're invited. I don't know if they're showing up or not.
okay. I just want to keep
They're
a,
observers and it's
A
up to them
solid
to figure it
division,
out,
just
so,
in case.
yeah.
hopefully they're not on that list of 3, but I don't know what the Republican Party is thinking.
Gotcha. Well, I don't know what they're thinking either, and I've been in touch with them, so.
Never know.
All right.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yep,
Thank
and
you.
as I take more of a deep dive, I mean, you don't have to say anything, you know,
Thank you.
and I'll get with you on that, just to show you what it looks like.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That sounds
Just
awesome.
looking for a way to maybe do it.
Yep, no, I'm good with it. Yep, thank
You
you.
know, I'm just like,
Cool, see ya. Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
knowing that it's coming.
guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joy. Okay, it is 10:02 and we are here for Human Resources Update. Open forum for public comment. 5-minute time limit, human resources related topics only. There's no one in the room and we have
Four attendees.
4 attendees.
One is Carrie Stockton. She says she has no public comment. And you have 2 iPhone guests. So, and Michael Miller. Can't allow Michael Miller to unmute without making him a panelist. So if you have public comment, you can have him raise his hand. For the iPhone guests, I've given you guys the ability to unmute if you have any public comment for human resources related topics.
Are you talking about PFML for anybody today?
Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on and open up for HR.
Morning.
Okay, first topic, I would request an executive session or a closed session to discuss labor relations. 10 minutes, please.
Okay, so we'll go into executive session from 10:04 to 10:14.
Is that under negotiations or?
RCW 423144A. It's on her list. It would be, yeah, negotiation. You find it.
Yeah, so we're going to go into executive session for 10 minutes,
Yes.
coming out at 10:14. Negotiations RCW 42.30.14048. It is 10:14 and we are out of executive session. No decisions were made.
Okay. Do I have bargaining authority for both of the items
Yes.
discussed? Okay, thank you. Okay, item number 3, I have a certificate I'm requesting that the board sign for a retiree.
Find a blue pen.
Acknowledging 34 plus years of service to Grant County and Public Works.
34 years. Do you realize Daryl will be 39 and a half years?
Wow.
I thought he was already at 40.
Oh.
I'm gonna
He
double
can
check
be
that.
if he wants to be the auditor.
Well, because that's where Connie was right there too.
Item number 4, I don't have anything for you. Item number 5, I do have a par. This one is a step increase, but there is a retro to it. In discussion with the department, why this one is late, because it's dated, it would be backdated, yes, please, 12/8 of 25. The person was applied for and then promoted to a higher position. Per their contract, they have the option at up to 30 days if that promotion isn't working well for them, that they can demote themselves back without losing anything. So this person decided to go back to the original position. When that happened, all of the paperwork, the par was completed. However, somewhere in payroll, in accounting, that did not get translated. So in GP, it didn't show for that step. So it showed that he moved back wage-wise, but that step was missed. So once that was found, once the department realized that they're putting this in place to do that step increase for the original position that he would have got if he wouldn't ever have moved. So the board consider approving that, and if so, sign. Next are position management for Commissioner's Office. We have a part-time mailroom clerk. This is a backfill. Yesterday, you heard this in PMR. Did you need any discussion? Or is the board ready to make a decision?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good with
Yeah,
that.
decision.
Okay, next one, renew case manager, same thing as a backfill.
Yep, I'm good with that. I am good with all three of them.
All three,
I mean,
okay.
the remaining three. Should say all three, that it sounds like. in my
Commissioner
chart.
Jones?
Denial.
Seriously?
No.
I didn't take them seriously.
Okay.
Well,
Okay,
it's 2 against
so
3.
then we also had
2 against
maintenance,
3.
maintenance 2 or 3, depending on who we can get there.
Yes.
And then we had the new position.
Oh, wait, let's just, Rob, Kevin, are you good with the maintenance 3?
Yes.
2 or 3.
Yes.
depending on-
Sorry, and then the last one, and I'll hand those out to sign, and the last one for your consideration is development services, is a new FTE for the plans examiner 1 or 2.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Rob?
Yep.
Okay,
We've gotten in trouble for not all 3 agreeing, so I'm just making sure.
What's going on with the mailroom one now? Did he leave?
Part-time, just.
the part-time,
Hmm.
the on-call left.
Because we think we just kind of like nod and don't do an official, like, we didn't
I
agree on that one.
usually, I know, and I
So I'm
usually
like,
catch it,
we
I
are
say,
like,
is
I
that
will make a
yes?
point of making sure that we all say yes or no, so it's all documented instead of assuming.
That's why when Rob said tonight, I was like, wait, I
You
need
need
to
to have a
record.
form,
I
and
need to,
that's how you know if I approve or deny, right?
That is
Do I have
correct.
a check and what I sign?
it'll be our double check.
And then the last one, I'm sorry, I should have included this one. The rest of them is the deputy treasurer 3, and that's also a backfill. Rob, is that a yes?
Yep.
Okay, Kevin?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And we need to do an appointment here this month of Daryl's position.
Is it the following?
Oh, I
day?
think, we're working on it. I think the prosecutor's office is working on, just because it's unique, because it's a
Put the dates on.
No.
Sir.
You did it.
And I-
position that.
And I would assume that that would be the following
Yeah.
Monday?
You actually, yours,
'Cause it's
yours
Friday.
takes in on midnight, so you should happen the day before because, well, I know in a commission you don't have a lull. So you have,
Right.
you're sworn in, but you don't take office until midnight, July
Oh,
1.
okay.
So it'll have, well, that's how all the others have done, except for the prosecutor, who's like the 10th of January. You realize this is my 9th, will be my 9th appointment? This month will be my 9th and 10th. I'm done. I'm done. Because you're just a really popular.
Oh. Okay, item 6, I don't have anything for you.
Can I interject something there? So not necessarily for HR, but budget, finance, compensation.
Oh, yep.
So when Susie Fode was doing all the various grants for New Hope, did she have permission from the board to sign those grants as they occurred, since there's so many? Or do you remember, were you signing each grant application that she put in? And how would you like Kim Pope to do that? My suggestion to Kim was create a comprehensive list of the grants so they're in one place, and ask for signing authority for those grants so that she could do that as they occur, but do that through consent. That would solve 2 problems. You could sign all of them, but we would have a comprehensive list of all of the grants.
We used to sign all grants because there was a fiduciary responsibility to them and then we could review them. But Caitlin, is there something that we granted Susie permission on some of them?
So can I ask, is that specific to actually applying for the grants or to the A19s when you request reimbursement? Because I know the board has to sign A19s.
I think it was the grant application because we didn't want to be,
And it might be a Carrie question, 'cause I
Okay.
think depending on who the funding comes through might also determine who signs it.
Yeah, I don't know who was signing.
because
all
we
the
used
Susies.
to, there was, I think when we signed every grant application, because I remember meeting Susie in different places to sign them. And then I believe we granted access to some of them, I think it was $1 amount or maybe it was to a location. Because we started,
Well, why don't I start with a comprehensive list of all the grants, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
but we have a new director, so.
We'll go from there. The second thing I had was, you and I chatted very quickly about the central services budget and why it's sitting at 89%. So,
But thank you for always reminding me what we talk about.
No,
because
that's
I'm like,
okay.
what?
I wanted to, no, I wanted to state that I did follow up on that.
Thank you.
In our budget discussions this year, the cost for the Baker Tilly audit and the cost for Merchant McIntyre were both put into central services, professional services, but those funds have not been put into the budget yet, which
They
is
should
why I'm
actually
at
come out of-
92%.
Okay, they should be coming out of miscellaneous general government.
They should, but they've been, I mean, it was up to me to pay those, so we don't have that budget code. So that's why my
Can we
budget
switch
shows,
over?
it can, if the money can
Because
just
I think,
be
Caitlin, that should be
transferred.
coming out of miscellaneous general government. We have,
You're right.
Caitlin can, okay, thank
But
you for
that's why.
following up. But that shouldn't be in your budget. That should actually be in miscellaneous general government because that is not essential.
So
service.
I will ask
Correct.
Vanessa to work on getting that, an interfund transfer done to make my budget whole and have it come out of the proper place. And then you will see that my budget is not.
Caitlin, do you know what budget number that would be? I think there's,
Yes, for the third-party audit, for sure, I know where that one came
Okay.
from. What was the other thing?
Merchant McIntyre, our federal lobbying partner.
so thank you, Tom, for.
Probably put it somewhere. I don't remember putting that in the miscellaneous general government one.
It's a new one.
Okay.
It is.
So,
Okay.
but yeah,
So,
it should
but
come
that's
under
what,
Tom
just so you
because-
know, that's why,
No,
and then we'll
thank you
run
for
that
looking
down.
at that because we need to account for it in,
Okay.
I
I'll second your
100%
I'm not
the Baker Tilly is.
Okay, just
well,
wing
thanks
it.
for cleaning up your budget, Tom.
Yeah,
Now
you
you're
bet.
no longer, I'm like looking at that going, what
Thank
is
you for flagging it. So,
my job?
okay, that was it, Decorah. Thank you.
Okay. Item 7, marketing director. Tom shared with me his proposed job description. My one suggestion that I would make to the board for your consideration is adding a component of public relations or public information officer to that. That way the board has that direct contact with the community, being able to manage
Public information.
any public information such as, social medias, getting things out to
I think it would be,
There seems to be a
stations.
slight disagreement about what Kyle Foreman's duties are and are not. So
Yes,
as I pushed back on that, Sheriff Greed told me that it was not expected that he would be that for the county.
well, it's supposed to kind of help it.
We can just do our own.
No.
Well, we can
We
have, I
added a
think we need
second
to,
position based on the fact that one of them would do work for all the county, and they were in total agreement with it in our meeting. So,
that is correct.
So
Yeah.
why did it change?
well, I mean, then we just defund it right now, if that's the case, or next year.
So,
Can't
The
defund it
McIntyre,
right
what was
now.
the other
we
one?
can defund it next year.
the Baker Tilly audits.
okay, thanks.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have that position went through PMR. And so I have all of the documents that support what the board's decision was and the commitment for that position to also assist with.
Don't go
Other
back,
departments?
don't back Robin in corner about this because he's gonna let it out.
Do they
Okay.
need to be reminded of that? Because
They
it
have
sounds
it.
like it.
They already know. They're just
Okay.
playing their games. So, okay, sounds great. Agree. Defunded when the fall comes. Thank you. Have a nice day. Pick which one you want to keep. I mean, that's pretty much how you have to combat this stuff.
So on that note, is the board, the three of you, okay adding a component to this position?
Yes, I think it would be nice to add the component. And then I also think that we need to remind the
What
sheriff
was the
that,
request to be done that they said they couldn't do?
Well, it started with, so Kyle sent an email saying, who's the point person for tours at, social media requests for tours at the jail? And I had sent an email back saying, well, why don't you be the point? I mean, it's gonna be your new home, so as social media requests come in. But before I could even say that, he had emailed Caitlin, and Caitlin said, well, Tom's been doing point on tours. And he immediately replied to that, okay, from now on, all social media requests for tours of the jail will go to the administrator, Tom Gaines. And I was like, wait a minute, why don't you handle that? You know, and he's like, because I'm not the public information officer for the commissioners. And I was like, wait a minute, I thought you were. So, and that's where it started. And then as I asked about that, Joe Preet reminded me and said, no, that's not actually the case. He's a public information officer for the sheriff's office. He would help out occasionally, but he is not, that is not his duty.
Occasionally though,
Yeah.
when have they helped out?
Great question.
And that's
I don't know.
Sheriff's building
Yeah.
Right.
owned by
That's why I'm
us.
confused.
And I would
That's funny.
reframe your statement about he reminded you. I think that's his version of.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
To add to that, back in March, I received an email from Kyle. It came to myself, to the sheriff, and to the undersheriff, saying that he felt it was time the county started its own self-managed social media page to deliver its government content. The page would be available for the elected offices or departments that don't have a social media presence. Non-public safety / emergency notification content doesn't fit with GCSO's current strategic communication plan. Things like tax assessments and similar content off-topic / off-brand and are not included in the sheriff's office public communication mission. I could write a bullet list about other reasons why, but it all comes down to that it's 2026, it's time. There are many county governments that Grant County can model who have adapted to learning and using social media. I can provide guidance on how to make that happen, help the county create a strategic communications plan, and help content managers find social media training courses. I just recently helped Community Corps prepare to start its own social media page and provided the same advice. Please let me know how I can help. So I forwarded this to Tom.
Yeah, I don't have issue with not posting on the sheriff's page unless it's like an emergency or whatever, but I mean, in my opinion, we don't need his input. He needs to just do it, so.
Well, and I think he needs to be reminded, and I wasn't a part of that, so, but he needs to be reminded by me or the board or somebody that, hold on, that's a very nice email, but have you forgotten that the sheriff came to us requesting this position be funded? And we funded it based on the caveat that you would do this. So the email's a little bit inappropriate.
So what
Well,
else
and he may
does-
not even be aware.
And he may not be aware. Yeah.
Right. So
What was
else
said to
does
the
Kyle
board
do?
may not have been said
Yeah.
to him.
Yeah.
What else does Kyle do? Is that his only?
That's it.
That's.
I understand the sheriff's office, they want to do things. They've also posted things that aren't really sheriff office detail information. So I think if we need to get something out, we've agreed that if we need to get something about tax statements or something that's important, he does have, owned by the county, the largest website or social media presence, and that he could help us out. But I think we just need to, yeah, if we get some information, we just remind him that, said that we could have some help. Or,
I take the email as a very pointed email. This is the sheriff's office, leave us alone. That's how it felt.
well, according to one of our commissioners there, this position that could be defunded. So, I'd like to work it out so we can have,
I just don't
Help on both
understand why
sides.
everybody always jumps to that. It's like, if you have a board that always just jumps to, well, we're gonna defund you then. Like, is that gonna be fun for them? It just doesn't make sense.
no, I just didn't want to be,
Oh, I know.
I don't want to be as harsh, but I just think we can work together and I guess.
I just don't get it. It's like, what's in my budget? Like, you get the wrong board, which could be next year.
Well, there could be change.
So then it's just gonna be like, okay, cool. Defund position, and then you have what, 6 months to try to work back to get it funded. You know what I mean? Like,
I do.
it
I
just
do.
doesn't make any sense. Why they do that?
It's what we're
It's not
trying to-
asking much.
One of the things we're trying to do.
Managing tours.
Yeah, let's just cooperate.
Okay, so Tom, you and I will come up with some
$150 million
language
asset.
for that.
Yeah,
You wanna show it off.
and Caitlin sent me a Teams message too, that they're gonna share the job description, I think, with tourism to get some of their input.
Yeah, I
So
think it'll be
so,
after
yeah, so we're
you're
definitely
finished.
not done with it.
Okay.
And we'll continue to polish it. you know,
We're just
so.
trying to include them.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
felt like we've excluded them.
That's a
so
good
we're just
idea.
trying to
It's a good idea.
include.
So.
Nothing for number 8 or 9. 10, we are in this week. Today is our second day of training in time and attendance and employee access. for Tyler, so lots of excitement going on there.
I got the mobile app working.
Good, very good. And train?
Huh?
For train?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's train?
I figured out how to get into it.
Are you sure it's train?
Mobile? Is it Workforce Mobile?
Long
It
as
doesn't
it's-
do anything.
Okay, yes. Well, I have that too, but doesn't do anything because we don't have it on.
It was just mine. The core wouldn't share it with me, so I'm gonna figure it out.
So, we're in the train environment. And in case you hear some scuttle about it, we are in train environment and we've been in there manipulating information for 2 years. And so in doing that, and we haven't had a refresh in a while, the information is skewed. We know it's skewed and we've told employees, supervisors, managers, department heads, electeds, this is not going to be accurate information. We just want to make sure you can get into it and see what it looks like. And we got a lot of those questions like, well, these are my employees, or I can't see this or that. This is a train environment. So we just keep repeating it. So if anybody says anything, please repeat. It's a train environment. The information is not going to necessarily be accurate. Some of it might be, some of it won't be. When we do the refresh before going live, it will all be accurate.
Correct, yeah.
So,
And I'm gonna take it one step further.
yes.
The reason it's not accurate is because payroll does a lot of testing. We'll just grab a random employee, add some time, process a time off request. Or the other option is, we're trying to test manager, workflow and approvals. And so we'll just grab somebody random. Decora's very popular. So we'll grab her and we'll add this employee and we'll do this. And so that's the reason why all of that information is because we're actively testing. We're
Right.
grabbing random people, manipulating, changing things. They're called personnel action requests to update name, addresses. We just pick employees at random from all different departments. So that's the reason why the information isn't accurate. But it should be when we go live in production. And if it's not, employees have an
I
opportunity
think the
to
gentleman would like to come in.
submit a request.
The doors are locked.
Oh,
He's
okay.
fine.
Well, he's
He's-
certainly-
He's fine.
Okay.
So that's the reason.
Kevin's buddy.
Other than that,
And I sent you an email. I don't know if we need to go to executive session. Did you see it earlier?
was it today?
Yeah, this morning.
I have not.
7:45.
Let me look here.
Got the power report and I was just asking about an elected official or a department head.
That would require executive session, yes.
Can we take like 5 minutes?
That would be under employee evaluation, RCW 4230.1101G.
5 minutes?
Yeah, Caitlin, you can stay.
We're gonna go into executive
You're fine.
session until
I
10:40,
think,
10:41 for job applicant evaluation for RCW 42.30.1101G. It is 10:40. We are out of executive session. No decisions were made.
okay, anything else for us from the board? No?
We're good.
Okay, that's it.
You know, I
Thank
shoot
you.
an email, a random email, then I totally forget because Tom's like, you sent me an email. I'm like, what? Refresh my memory. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
we'll go into recess until 11 o'clock. Good morning. It is 11:01 and we are here for our commissioners meeting. We'll call the meeting to order. Open forum for public input, 3 minutes per person, 15-minute time limit. There's no one in the room and
You have
3 attendees.
3 attendees. You have iPhone guest, Carrie Stockton, she says she has no public comment. And then we have Michael Miller. Michael, if you have any public comment, please raise your hand via Zoom.
This is the iPhone user, Janice Flynn. I have no public comment. Thank you.
Janice? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the approval of the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
I guess I will second that. Got a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Approve the agenda. Correspondence, emails received that need response, letters of support, etc.
I did receive 2 emails seeking letters of support from the commissioners. The first one is from Bo Duff with Highline Grain Growers, seeking a letter of support from Grant County for a grant application being submitted by Highline Grain Growers and the Washington State Department of Transportation. The grant would support continued rehabilitation of the state-owned PCC rail lines. So they're just asking the commissioners to submit that. I can put that on consent next week.
Yeah.
And then the other one is from OIC of Washington. And they are in the process of applying for the U.S. Department of Labor on behalf of the U.S. Department of Education fiscal year 2026 high school equivalency program. They're seeking a commissioner letter of support for that as well. So that'll be on consent next week for you guys to consider.
Okay. We discussed the other emails regarding the fire marshal and burn ban earlier this week.
Yes, and
There's not,
no ban and no press release.
We have a burn ban, but no fireworks ban.
right.
Okay.
Is that all we have for that?
That's all I have.
Okay. So move on to the Commissioners Roundtable, miscellaneous discussion.
Is Carrie on?
Carrie is online, yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we spend the ARPA PILT. It goes for the coroner's office, so we allocated that. It just has to be spent by the end of the year, and Tom has already been,
It's on our agenda today.
what was it, the PILT for the coroner's office?
The ARPA PILT doesn't have a
Deadline?
date to spend, just
Okay.
the ARPA.
Okay, thank you for
Uh-huh.
make sure we're, this is the year that we have to spend everything, and sometimes we're not paying attention, and then I just don't want to lose all that funding. Thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome.
So I had a call from a company named Copia Power that wants to come and visit on the 20th of month.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking,
What day was it?
yeah, are they having a serial meeting? I didn't realize they reached out to you too.
June 24th. Did they call you about that same date?
Yeah, so Rob, you're probably gonna get one too. So is that a serial?
Say it again?
Well, the
Copia Power
24th.
meeting, they were wanting to come in on the 24th from 10 to 11, just to meet us and I guess go over their.
You haven't heard from them?
Check your work phone. You probably have a message from him, from Lily.
So what do we want to do about that?
How do we handle that? Because that would be a serial meeting.
If you could have them reach out to me, I can work on getting that scheduled. Is more than one commissioner wanting to be here for that?
Well, I think I didn't realize she was reaching out to Kevin. I
didn't
thought she was
realize.
reaching out to us individually. We just realized that it's a serial meeting happening.
Right.
So, yeah.
I think as long as there's no further correspondence with both commissioners, it shouldn't be an issue.
I'm sure Rob will be on that list too. So. Yeah, Kevin, can you give Caitlin the number so that it goes through our calendar? Then. Yeah, but I don't have it on right with me.
I'll get that information to you. Reach out to her and let her know. I don't have it right off the top of my head right now. I do have her contact number, so I can give that to you. Got a message from Public Works about trying to figure out a way to use that guy that has a commercial wood chipper for all these branches, so they don't end up in the landfill. I'll work with Andy a little more on that and see if we can't figure out a way to make that work. Anybody have anything else?
Nothing neat for me.
No, I don't have anything.
On to the consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the consent agenda items 1 through 14.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We'll sign our consent agenda items.
Your AP batch.
I got a little lip on the table.
The ratification of the proclamation of emergency.
Sign that, do we?
No, you guys already signed it. This is the minutes for last week.
Grab my pen.
Sometimes.
Kind of wondering if you're overwhelming you guys.
A little bit, but
Oh,
it's fine.
Yeah, no, you always say that. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's all fine.
We know when
It's a request for the chair to DocuSign an interagency agreement. This is the amendment to the social media manager's contract. This is the transfer for the coroner's office morgue project. Reimbursement request from OIC. Reimbursement request from Hope Source. Out-of-state travel for the coroner's office.
Young's contract with a plethora of facts that are pretty alarming.
Purchase of 10 additional trees for the fairgrounds.
Trees, please.
We don't want to test the suicide for less. I'm not.
That checks out. It's Vegas. This is a request for you to DocuSign an agreement with the Washington State Office of Public Defense, which I have that DocuSign link, so after this,
You do
you
have.
get it too, yeah. is a resolution for the investment of Fund 103.
Has that not been being invested?
Well, it's invested, but we're keeping the money, we're not sharing it with public works. So all of the money that we have here is invested. It's just if you want to keep, if that fund wants to keep it, you have to request it.
I was trying to figure out what trails do we have that we maintain
Thousand Trails.
as a county?
At the base of sidewalks, so we have some at the base, we have some at Larson. We have some at the fairgrounds, put a new path, a connector trail. It's kind of went through the fairgrounds, because it can connect from valley to valley. Airway Drive and Valley. And then it's also there for other communities. And maybe even for city. It's not a lot of money, but it's some. There are many sidewalks.
I didn't think so.
Airway Drive.
What's that?
We could probably use some for Airway Drive, but that's currently, we will have sidewalks there now. Hey Les, I just knocked my knee, if I can walk now. L&I injury. Conservation District.
11:30. Go on to recess until 11:30. Good morning, it is 11:30 and we are here for our Water Conservancy meeting, Columbia Basin Conservation District update.
Great.
Good morning,
Good morning.
how are you guys?
Good.
Doing good. How are you guys?
Good.
So I'm going to give you an update on a couple things. One is the VSP program, and the other one is the Most Lake Watershed Council. So starting with the VSP, our technical advisory panel at the state level met with us yesterday. We went out and did a site visit at 3 different places where we're doing riparian restoration to lower water temperature and to sequester nutrients before they enter Crab Creek. They generally liked what we were doing. There is some work that we're still trying to do with Department of Wildlife right now revolving around shrub step monitoring and exactly what does that mean. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I guess, is the most appropriate way to put it. I'm still working through that to try to figure out whose protocol we're going to use and what standards. The budget for our VSP monitoring is about, for Grant County, is $22,000 a year. So some of the things we're being asked to do go way beyond $22,000 a year. So we're negotiating. If you want us to do more work, where does the money come from to do that? We are going to be meeting with Jim Anderson Cook on that subject this afternoon, potentially. If there's more monitoring work that's going to be required, maybe some of that money could come from shrub step mitigation funds. We're trying to honor the wishes of the people that are asking us to do the additional monitoring. But again, we need to know where that funding comes from. So any questions related to that? Second subject, Moses Lake Watershed Council. Our, I would say, primary focus right now is trying to get the W20 going. And I think Rob was there at the beginning of this and understands this is as much about water quality as it is about delivering municipal water. So we're trying to put those two things together so that we can do both with one project. We have had meetings with the city and the port, who are the two primary people who are looking to get municipal water from this project. We've had meetings with all the irrigation districts, southeast, Quincy, and with East, and also with the Bureau. And the Bureau is supportive of our work, less so some of the irrigation districts, and primarily that's revolving around competing for funds. The funds that we're looking to get are the same funds they're looking to get, so that you may hear some people who are not in favor of the W-20 lateral, and the only reason that anybody's ever given us is that it competes for them with funding. So I'll ask a question. What have you guys heard about the W-20 lateral? Are you getting any feedback on it?
I haven't heard anything negative.
Okay.
I heard that the meeting at the Bureau didn't go well.
Accurate. So what did you hear was not well? What did that look like?
A lot of it was the idea that maybe some of those players hadn't ever heard of any of it at the time of that meeting. So the cart was way before the horse in their opinions.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to make it. I don't remember where I was. I sent Jim Anderson Cook though. And then his report back was, that didn't go well.
Yeah, well, I think that are two things can be true at once. I think people hadn't heard about it, not because of lack of effort on our part, but they were hoping we would go away maybe, and we didn't. And so our thoughts are that we don't have the time to sit around and wait for everybody to, we're just going to keep pushing forward. We're not going to react to the cart before the horse. We're glad that we're out ahead and we've achieved what we've achieved. We got the 500,000 SIP, and we also got, we didn't, the port got $1 million from Cantwell, and that demonstrates enough community support for it. We're moving forward with it. So
Yeah, I
hopefully
think
that's okay with all of you guys.
It's going to require somebody pushing it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Bureau and the federal government's not just gonna be like, yeah, here you go. It's gonna take us pushing, so.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works out and does what the plan is.
And they can take irrigation water and use it for, and it's supposed to be in the off season, but, because it's always, I mean, the purpose was for ag irrigation.
No, there is a new route that the water's going to come through Moses Lake, Crab Creek supplemental feed route that they've been working on, and it caused flooding and different issues, and it's been on hold.
We get to put up a couple new bridges because of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Crab
That
Creek feeder
project.
route, yes.
Water coming down that delivery route, the water's going to go under at a place called Adrian Sink, and it comes back up at Rocky Ford Creek. And Rocky Ford Creek, when it makes that transfer between there, it picks up a lot of phosphorus and will come into Moses Lake at 165 parts per billion. The magic number we need to stay below on Moses Lake is 25 parts per billion. So obviously that's a big spread. It's going to cause algae blooms on Moses Lake. So instead of us opposing the Crab Creek supplemental feed route, what we're doing is proposing an alternative to it. And so we're not trying to spoil anybody's party. We're just saying we're willing to do the work to provide another route, which is going to be an irrigation canal that comes in, and the water's going to come in the same quality as it is in banks. So you take water instead of 165 parts per billion coming down the Crab Creek channel, and you bring the water in the W-20 lateral at Banks Lake quality water. Obviously, that's a big benefit to Moses Lake. Irrigators are saying things like, we don't live on Moses Lake. Moses Lake's a swamp. We don't care about it. And that is, not something we're responding to, because we do live there and we do care about water quality.
And I would say that it's not the irrigators, it's the irrigation district
Yeah,
manager at South Columbia Basin Irrigation District making those comments.
Okay,
So
but it's
a
not, they're
single
not pulling the
person.
water for industrial use, are they?
Well, Port of Moses Lake's going to use it for whatever the Port of Moses Lake's going to use it
Okay,
for.
see, that's where industrial use would be. And that may be where the Bureau, I don't know. I'm just kind of
The
an
Bureau's
outsider.
actually in favor of this project as far as we've heard. They want to
Okay.
continue to see
The
it happen.
W-20.
Yeah,
do you
so
think-
there's,
Sorry, do you think that, is the port planning on pumping from the lake up to the port? Is that their
Yes.
plan? Okay.
Yes, there is no engineering that's been done, But right now, the route would be, Moses Lake Irrigation District would make property available at the north end of Connolly Park. There's about 26 additional acres. And the port would put a structure out into the lake and pump from the deepest part of the lake. And it would be a pipeline directly up to the port. And then the port would put in a filtration system and probably sell water to the city. It would go the other opposite direction.
So that water would only be available during peak season?
It depends on if we can demonstrate holding capacity in Moses Lake. Moses Lake is at 10,040 elevation in the wintertime because there was a new gate that was put into the south end about 5 years ago when the old gate washed out.
Right.
The old elevation was 1041 and a half. So there's a 1.5 feet of storage capacity that you could demonstrate, and whether or not you use it exactly at that time, but you have to be able to demonstrate if you're going to use 10,000 acre feet of water, where are you going to store 10,000 acre feet of water? Moses Lake is 6,800 acres. Obviously, 1 foot would be 6,800 feet, 6,800 acre feet of water. And so the elevation of Moses Lake is going to be at play at some point in this, to which the money from the SIP grant and from Cantwell is going to go towards the operational study that will be required by the Bureau to demonstrate where's the water coming from, at what time, what quantities, how does this happen? So I don't have answers to any of those now other than what is being talked about. Engineering still got to come.
A lot less water in the wintertime, so I would think it would work.
Exactly, right. The demand is 1/10 in the wintertime as is in the
Right.
summer. So it should be,
Should work.
should work, yeah. Any other questions on W20? The other thing that we're working on the Watershed Council, our cyanobacteria management plan, which is a comprehensive plan of what's going to be done on what has been done on Moses Lake, literature review, and then propose new actions like our $3.1 million project that we did a couple of years ago, our West Shore project, other things like riparian buffers that we're installing, a master plan that will spec out all of those and provide a roadmap for the people that come after us. There's been a lot of fits and starts on water quality on Moses where somebody will do a study, you'll have the Clean Lake Project, it'll go for a couple of years, then nothing happens for 10 or 20 years. So we're providing a document that will go forward for the people that come after me and the other people that are working on this that says this is what we're working on, and we can just hand it off to the next generation of people who are working on Moses Lake. And in conjunction to that, one of our projects this next year will be a circulation study that will aid in a lot of these questions about what if we end up with a blend of pothole supplemental feed route? We've got some water that's still coming down Rocky Coulee Wasteway, and we have water that comes down the W20 lateral. And it will help the Bureau be able to model water quality on Moses Lake based on, we have a little extra water here in April, let's put some water down here, because it'll be able to model the water quality based on inputs. So that's going to start this summer. That's it for my updates.
Sounds good.
So I'm Christina Rebellion, the Executive Director of the Conservation District. Thank you so much for having us this morning. I think just building on the water projects that Ron shared, the Odessa Groundwater Replacement Program is continuing to move forward. Construction is happening right now on those lower lateral systems. There's actually a groundbreaking everyone's invited to on June 10th out at the EL 80.6. That's super exciting just to see that progress happening down south. We are moving up further north. Currently, the legislature has allocated $57 million for the EL 22.1. There are several producers out there on that system, including one of the Hutterite colonies. And we are looking to pursue additional NRCS funding to support construction of that. We're anticipating that system is going to start getting built this fall. So East Columbia Basin Irrigation District is just continuing to keep their construction crews busy and working up the Ogwarp. They also have allocated all of the remaining acres for the Ogwarp. So there was 30,000 remaining acres that they were identifying which landowners were going to receive that water. All of those landowners have been identified and they are currently signing engineering and design contracts with East District. So that's very exciting. That project is likely going to see full implementation in the next 5 to 10 years. Also, just wanted to share that Department of Ecology's Director Sixkiller is planning a Water Futures initiative where he and leadership will be traveling across the state, including hopefully here in the basin, to meet with different leaders and stakeholders on water supply issues. So it'd be great if our commissioners could engage in those conversations, and we're happy to help provide more information as we learn about it, if you haven't heard from Ecology already. And then I think what we're also seeing is that, and the W20 I think really highlights this, is that we're in a place where we need integrated planning across the basin. We have several entities and organizations working on water supply and water quality projects and initiatives, whether that's the Columbia Basin Sustainable Water Coalition, the Moses Lake Watershed Council, our irrigation districts and the Bureau have working groups, but really we're at a place where we need a single table where all of our stakeholders and interests are coming together so that we can work on a suite of projects to address these municipal, industrial, water quality, ag-related needs. I think you may have heard possibly from Dave Dormeyer, his proposal to do a pump station off the Columbia River. That has gotten some attention from the Office of Columbia River as an alternative to, say, the W20, where we may see multiple benefits. And I think that we just have a lot of opportunity with the Columbia Basin Project and existing infrastructure to really evaluate the merits of utilizing that existing infrastructure to meet multiple needs. And not necessarily going to a full pump station off the river currently to serve the entire basin. However, it may have some merits for the city of Quincy. So there's multiple conversations, multiple tables, and again, I think we're at a place where we may need to broaden the table, bring everyone together. So I really would look to our commissioners as kind of being part of that conversation, hopefully help shaping what that may look like. Again, Office of Columbia River is taking an interest in the pump station and also looking at integrated planning as a potential path forward. So just wanted to share that with you. Are there any questions for me regarding our district or all the different water quality or quantity initiatives here in the basin? Okay.
I think that one of David Dormeyer's plans is pretty big lift.
It is, and that's where I think we need buy-in on whatever that lift is, whether it's W20, it's a pump station, it's a suite of projects. We have really passionate people and limited resources, both in time and money. And really, what do we all want to lift, right? I think that's where we're at.
Yeah, it just seems like the W20 project would be a fairly straightforward project that would get done pretty quickly. That one, David Dormeyer, seems like it would be a project.
So,
But it's a good idea.
yeah.
Definitely a good idea.
I think it's highlighting, again, just the need, the passion, the interests. So if we could all come together and just get on the same page. And that was really our attempt with the W20. And I think we failed fast there in terms of learning very quickly where some of the concerns were from the irrigation districts. And they're obviously key stakeholders and players. And I'm hopeful that we'll work through that for W20. But we learned a lot from that meeting that Commissioner Jones mentioned. But I'm really grateful to the Port of Moses Lake for continuing to pursue that project and also to the county for investing in it through the SIP program. That's huge. So thank you.
Hopefully we can make it happen.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Don't
Thank
give
you.
up.
Don't give up. Appreciate your support. Thank you.
Kevin's our cheerleader.
I
He's our
won't-
driving force.
Unfortunately, I won't get to be at that thing on the 10th. I'm gonna be up at Lake Roosevelt
Okay.
for that tour of the cleanup efforts that are going on at the river.
From the smelter up north?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Did you want to talk rates and charges today or not?
I think that, well, I'll just share on rates and charges. We are coming up to our 10 years, looking at a renewal and a potential increase. The rates and charges that we receive through the county's land base has been incredibly helpful for us in having that foundational funding so that we could pursue other funding to support our programs, projects, cost share. And so right now, it's just under $5 per parcel. As we look to renew in the next year and a half or so, our Board of Supervisors is interested in looking at right around $10 per parcel to keep up with inflation, and that's mainly it.
Conservation districts are allowed by law to be $25 per parcel, and ones that are over on the coast are, much higher than what we are. So it's, how many years have we been at $4.95?
8 years.
8 years, yeah.
So, and I think, I'm just really proud of the work we've been able to accomplish.
And prior
With
to
our
that, did you have a
rates
fee?
and
Was there a
charges.
fee or was?
There was not.
Okay.
No. And so we have, all of the unincorporated areas contribute to that, as well as the city of Moses Lake, city of Warden, and city of Quincy. So hopefully the other municipalities will join the district and contribute in the future. If you ever have any questions, need any assistance, if you have suggestions, please let us know. Okay?
All right.
Okay?
So you're proposing the increase for 2027? Well, wait, I don't.
Year and a half. So
I believe it'll go into
2028.
effect 2028. So
Okay,
we'll
'cause
be,
you gotta talk about it, then it takes a year and I think we have to have public hearings.
And the nice thing for you, Cindy, is you won't have to worry
I
about
want
it.
to be there.
You'll just have to pay.
But I
the
do
extra
remember
$5
that
a
because somebody
parcel.
came in and it's like, you've got to explain to me why you're taking money out of my checkbook
yeah,
and what are you gonna be doing with it? And I'm like, that's a really good way to put it.
yes.
And we're happy to provide the information. We're doing the work and we can prove it, so.
Right.
Just wanted to start the conversation early with our commissioners, that's some outreach that we'll be doing over the next
Well,
year
I
or
will
so.
say that if anybody has anything to complain about in Moses Lake, you guys are doing a tremendous job at that, on that lake.
Thank you.
10 years ago, you could walk on it.
Mhm.
It was so green.
Yeah.
Now, it's crystal clear.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
That's just a small piece of what we do, so.
Yes. Okay.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
We're going to recess until 12 noon. It's 12 noon, we're gonna open the meeting for open record public hearing on the Dune Lakes vacation of a portion of Viewmont Drive, continued to 5/12/26. And if anybody from the public is gonna come up and speak, please state your name and what you're here for. We'll turn it over to Kate and Andy to present.
All right, kind of just read this memo here. On Viewmont Drive, it was found that a gate was installed within the county's right-of-way on the southern portion of Viewmont Drive. The Board of County Commissioners of Grant County, Washington, has received a petition to vacate portions of the right-of-way, being a portion of Viewmont Drive lying in Section 3, Township 18 North, Range 28 East, all in Grant County, Washington, as shown as on the attached Exhibit A here. The Board of County Commissioners determined that consideration should be given to the petition and directed the county and road engineer to prepare a report on the proposed vacation and abandonment for a public hearing to be held at 11:30 PM Tuesday, the 12th of May, 2026. The notice of hearing was published in the county official newspaper, and the notice of hearing was posted at each termini in compliance with RCW 36.87.050. Said hearing was continued to June 2nd at noon today. So basically my, I guess, recommendation on this, if you guys would like that now, or do you want
Are you
people
sure?
coming up?
No, I would like it.
Okay. Yeah, so due to kind of like public safety concerns, welfare concerns, is the opinion of Public Works that we deny vacating Viewmont Drive's right away and remove the gate to open the road. If vacation is to be considered, the entire road, including that portion in the Viewmont, should be vacated end to end in hopes of preventing confusion for emergency service vehicles.
And that goes all the way from Dune Lakes to Castle. I think the current vacation request is just to the gate, so.
So what you're currently saying is we are missing half of the vacation. We cannot vacate half of it. We would need to vacate, have another hearing and vacate the other portion of it.
I believe so. Right, yeah.
Okay. So just for logistics, if we were going to vacate it today, but it would be contingent on, just, I'm not saying I'm going to, but it would just be contingent on the other portion being vacated. But we could vacate that portion with the caveat that the remainder would have to be vacated.
Yes.
So that would be an action we could take today. That's all I'm asking for. Thank you.
Well, the other thing I think is important for Nathan, we met with Jake Jacobson last week, and I'm gonna turn it over to Nathan for a minute, because he has a little different opinion now, so this is.
Yeah, so initially, I got an email about it, and looking at it and the process that it was, went through to put that gate in, didn't meet the fire code. So whoever the fire marshal was at the time or whatever, either wasn't informed or didn't comment or didn't do anything to do that. And so that part was missed. The fire code actually requires construction permits and things for gating public roads and access ways. Went out there and looked at it the other day. There's 3 streets that also connect and cross connect from Dune Lakes to Viewmont. And with that one being closed for like 20 years. And emergency services have kind of adapted to that not being a right of way or a throughway, and really don't consider it an issue for the vacation or that thing being closed. So, you know, I wrote a memo to Andy today about that. It's not been available for public travel or emergency vehicle. It's been unusable. There's plenty of other access between the 2 roads. So my opinion, right, for emergency services and on that side is that it would be fine to vacate that if you guys so choose. Or if the gate was gonna stay, it would just need a Knox box or something like that. If it was gonna remain public, you know, right away, it would have to be opened and able to be used by emergency services, which isn't the case currently.
Thank you. Well, I just wanted, you met with Mr. Jacobson. I think that's why we were waiting to have the meeting. So all your questions were answered. Anything that you need to share with us or?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, I hate to speak for Cade, but I think vacation would be our second best option. Then we don't have a gate in the right of way because it's not our right of way. So.
So do we legally have to have somebody petition that other portion to be vacated, or can the county?
I don't know that
commissioners
answer, Kevin.
do that?
I think it would be best to have them ask for the petition. I mean, there's probably people in the room that could request that.
You
I
have
think
to
that-
have the owners that front that right of way sign a petition, yeah, or at least a letter to the board in agreeing that they, yeah.
You could make a decision for them if they didn't want to do that. So.
Right.
From the emergency services standpoint, if that stuff on the other side wasn't vacated, I think it's just under 150 feet, so it wouldn't require any road modifications or changes for that if it were to stay a public access on that side of the gate.
So my only other question is if those are both vacated, how is that gonna work for Public Works when they're blading the snow in the wintertime? Is that gonna become the responsibility of the property owners and,
They usually skip that part.
They usually skip it anyway.
Yeah, that doesn't get counted.
Oh, so it's
When
not-
we do get snow, you
so it's
know,
not gonna change anything?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it would basically become like a private driveway
okay.
that they would share off of
Sure.
the sides.
And it's not blocking access to any public waters.
So I live on the Viewmont, or the corner of Castlewood and Viewmont. So
Can you
we-
just state your name,
I'm
please?
sorry, Patty Paris, 9017 Castlewood Drive. So we would, so we live on the corner, so yes, if you decide to vacate one, we would propose vacating the other. But as highlighted by last week's storm, the drainage system in Dune Lakes around that corner, and I think Kurt can attest, is not draining properly, and we end up with a total flood. It cannot, even a heavy rain day, we cannot handle the water. We have mud building up, flooding on our side of the gate. And they put in, the county came out and put in a dry well to trying to fix it at one time. It didn't do a thing. That dry well fills up immediately and then all the mud backs up. And then it can't make it to the corner where the actual full-blown drain is. So we would certainly hope if you decide to vacate that the county will address that first, because I don't know how we would fix that.
Is that drywall that we installed, is that in that corner there?
No, it's on our property. It's right on the edge. It's between the corner and the gate.
They need to have one prior going by our piece of property would help, but I'm not opposed to that, put another, you know, drainage
Kurt, if you
system.
could state your name.
Kurt Jungers, 9012 Dune Lake Road. And I'm on the inside corner just prior to Patty's house there. And if they wanted to put another drain in there, I wouldn't be opposed to that. You know, there's a lot of water that comes, that's a pretty good sized watershed that comes down through there. And you get a storm like we did, you know, the other day. It's a pretty big mess.
So if we were to vacation this, I'm
If it's-
asking Public Works, I think,
If it's on Viewmont and is vacated, we won't do any of that. It's not our road any longer.
Right.
So, but if there's one on Castlewood, or that's a different story, but if it's vacated, it's not our property any longer.
Should there be another one put in on the south side of the road?
Potentially, we're not positive what the problem is, or we've never seen it
Have to just look
ourselves.
into it.
Yeah. But if something on Castlewood could help, that's a possibility, but not on Viewmont.
The water is coming from the Dune Lake side. That's where the flood comes. So for however it was designed, it all comes down towards us.
It's just
So I-
the topography, the
Yes.
topography of it. All the natural topography brings the runoff that way.
And now the newer houses that have built east on Dune Lakes, on the backside of Castlewood, those have just compounded the problem. So they're watering their lawns, the runoff all comes down, so it's constant. It's not just during a storm. We have a huge mud buildup on our property all the time, all summer long with the watering going on.
And what was your address again?
9017, we're right on that corner, the great big tall house on the corner by the
Okay.
gate.
We'll give you your address.
9017, Castlewood. Yeah, we've petitioned the county numerous times to do something. They did the dry well, but that didn't touch it.
that may have been when Derek was here. I'm trying to figure, it's probably been a good 10 years, 12 years. I just assumed it was working, so sorry, we didn't follow up on that.
No, it would be interesting to have you evaluate it.
Should just be full. Cleaned.
Well, Kate has a fair amount of experience in stormwater, and so it would be interesting to have him take a look at it.
Well, at this point, it sounds to me like we probably should contact the other property owners on the north side of the gate. See if they're on board with it. Public Works.
Jake Jacobson, Dune Lakes. I guess I'm not getting what everybody's talking about. Moving a gate or putting another gate in or what?
No, in order to vacate a portion, we would need to probably vacate the entire portion.
So the north
Like the
side
east-
and the south side.
For the
You mean Viewmont all the way down to the end? Down?
Just to Castlewood.
To our house.
Oh, I
Do
see.
we have a picture
Oh,
we can pop up?
I got you.
Someone could share this.
But it would just be from Dune Lakes to Castlewood.
I see.
It's not quite in the middle, but
I see.
nothing would happen, nothing would have to happen with the
whole
gate.
thing.
I think Caitlin is looking for.
If you go to the Dumas part where.
No, she cannot.
So
No,
right here,
it would
this
be
one,
interesting.
see how it's in a dark line here? This is what petition for.
Talked about elevating
And then
the
this is the
grades and
portion
stuff
that
like
they
that. We don't have any, lanes. They're all flush. I've never seen it.
It's probably just full, that driveway.
That's what I think.
Barb, I'm sorry, could you?
Sure. So this is Dune Lake's final planned unit development. This is Viewmont here, the part that was petitioned for. You guys can see that.
Right.
And this is where the gate is this black line right here. And this is the portion north. It comes around and curves right here into Castlewood. So it's about 135 feet from here to here, which would be about half of what's shown there. And it would just be to prevent emergency services from turning down that way, or from that little stretch right there being used as a hammerhead, where people come in and turn around and back in and out of it, when they can just turn onto Castlewood and make a smooth turn.
That answer your question, Jake?
I don't know, the gate's been there. I went over there the other day with these guys and, what's it been there, 21 years? I didn't even know there was a big deal, but yeah, so you're talking about moving the gate?
No,
No.
no, the gate will remain where it's at. We just need the guys on the north side of the gate
Yeah.
to apply to abandon that or vacate that portion.
Oh, I see the little finger there, so you don't have to. Okay,
Right. So
gotcha.
then both sides would be vacated.
Okay.
Actually, there'd be 3. Cupidos would have to as well.
But ultimately, it's your decision, so.
Well, I feel like we've left it there for 20-some years. The best decision would be to vacate it, contingent that the other portion, the other half get vacated as well. That would probably, I don't think it's good practice to have a gate in the middle of a road. Wherever it is. So I think because we've allowed it, we just need to fix it. And that fix would be a vacation.
I agree, Cindy.
I think that would be the
Shouldn't have gone in,
the
but it did,
easiest solution.
so.
Yeah. It would make the most sense.
Would you like me to make a motion on that? Well, is there any more public comment?
I haven't closed public comment yet.
So,
Oh,
Patty Paris again. So I think there's 3 of us homeowners that would have to petition, 2 across from us and us. And we have not talked to them. I know one of them did write you and wants the gate removed and the road open, but so I don't know if they would, and we haven't talked to the other ones. I don't have any idea how they would feel about vacating it. So would that vacating that half then is contingent upon all 3 of us agreeing, right? I just want to
it's really hard
understand.
to close part of
I think so.
the road, because they're still going in there, so I believe to make it clean, we just
what they
Okay,
said.
one thing, I mean, I don't know if you paid attention, but because of Huberdeau's property, if you vacated, they would have to grant an easement to the other homeowner to get to his driveway. Because the way it is, there's two homeowners across from us, and for them to get to their driveway, they then would be driving across, if you split it half and half. So it's a little tricky.
So if I could give you a little history, Jake Jacobson, if I could give you a little history that these guys already know. Years ago, there was no connection between Scenic and Dune Lake Road. There was no connection. And I was approached and they said, hey, we'd love to connect to Dune Lake Road, Scenic Road. And I said, no, we've got enough traffic as it is. If you come off of Viewmont, if that gate wasn't there, you come off of Viewmont, past our waterfall. Those are single lane streets on both sides with a median in the middle with trees. We are about to have 9 to 12 more lots on the north side, and there'll be lots on the south side eventually. So there's already plenty of traffic. The reason we hooked up to Scenic was the closure of Viewmont. So, and again, for 20 years, that's not, to my knowledge, fire departments never had to break the gate, ambulance never had to break the gate, dog catcher, anybody else. So I'm guessing that, it's been there a long time and we haven't had an issue. Let me just put it that way, just like it is. So I don't know if there's a technical reason that we have to do something else, then I guess we got to address that.
Anybody else? We've got 6 people online, so I'm gonna allow them to speak if somebody has something they want to say.
Angela Stenhouse has her hand raised, so I'm gonna allow her to unmute first. And then if anybody else has public comment, if you just wanna raise your hand, and I can get you as we go.
Hey, Angela.
Hi. I'm just was wondering, this original petition was brought forward to vacate the road there as it was no longer in the public interest for any public usage of that county roadway. And it seems to have kind of drifted off into this gate there, gate not debate. The original petition stated that the road had no public use or public benefit. However, it does have public use and public benefit, at least from bicyclists and pedestrians. And under what I understand from the RCW is that to vacate a county road to private owners, that they have to demonstrate that it would be in the best interest of the general public. And vehicle traffic is not the only type of traffic that needs to be taken into consideration.
Okay. Thank you for your input. Anybody else?
No other hands raised. I do have a written public comment to read into the record.
Okay.
So we received this today. It says, we live on Viewmont Drive Southeast. We fully support the removal of the gate for the following reasons. 1, safety for drivers and walkers. We have observed numerous times trucks, delivery, garbage and mail, and other vehicles needing to back up to Castlewood to access a road out. 2, we continually observe trailers, vehicles, and boats parked in front of the gate, blocking access for emergency vehicles. In the winter, snow is plowed up against the gate, also blocking access. We have even witnessed motorcycles being pursued by law enforcement, slipping through the side access, which halted their pursuit and requiring them to turn around and go a longer way. 3, the aesthetics of this gate lowers the property value. It certainly does not enhance our neighborhood. 4, removal of gate will increase safety on Castlewood. This will reduce traffic and exposure to the safety of children and walkers due to opening another way out of our neighborhood. It will offer us a less intrusive entrance and exit. 5, finally, it is puzzling and confusing why the county allowed the gate on a perfectly straight, accessible road. For those reasons, we strongly support removing the gate. Thank you, from Jean and Connie Huberdeau.
Yeah, go ahead.
Pete Jacobson, Hayboy Farms and Dune Lakes.
we've got some really, really expensive pumps and watering equipment down the hill. And I've noticed, I mean, we get a lot of walkers down there, but that gate, I feel like, keeps a lot of high school kids, a lot of people that shouldn't be down there messing with some high voltage stuff. It keeps it more secluded, you know. Just my 2 cents, but.
Okay, so you are the one, okay, because it's owned by Dune Lake Homeowners Association, so there is access, like a road access, but
And
it's
yeah,
not
we-
public, it's private?
Yeah, there's also a 24-inch main line
Okay.
that goes under the road right there. I mean, if we ever had an issue, which nothing lasts forever, that gate would be really handy when we do have to repair something right in the middle of the road, you know, I don't know, just got some expensive equipment, and I feel like that gate keeps a lot of the wrong people out.
And if I can expand on that, we have no, at this point, we have no reason to block off any, we still have walking traffic, pedestrian traffic, people pushing baby carriages, riding scooters. We have no intention of closing it off completely, blocking it. Dune Lakes, what we will propose is to have a right of way to get down to our water. That's why it won't be private. It will belong to either Dune Lakes, whatever, that vacated piece. And we would have it, we would have a right of way there then, so we could get down to our pumps on the lake. That's how we get down to the lake. So.
Yes, ma'am.
I think the point, one of the letters there pointed out, or the speaker, I would be very sad to see all of that vacated road become private ownership without any kind of public access for walking and pedestrian bicycle traffic. It is heavily used for that every day, all day. And it's just a beautiful walk for the neighborhood. It would, to have us vacate on that, and so I don't know the logistics of having 5 homeowners have to grant the public over their private property if you vacate it and we just maintain ownership of it. That, I think, that would be a hard sell for me to say, yeah, I'm gonna have ownership of half of that road and I'm gonna be responsible for the public crossing my property every day, all day. I don't know how that works as far as liability or responsibility. So another thing to think about when you say vacate without any kind of public access through the middle. I mean, I would love to see a right of way right through the middle so that it isn't used as a parking lot. Because that's our biggest, it really diminishes our property value to have, like they said, the boats and the trailers and the cars.
Sounds
We
like
don't
it's already
ever
being
park
used
there,
that way
but
right now.
other people do. They park a lot, and then we don't want that at all. It doesn't enhance their property value or ours.
So I'm gonna ask Kate now, so once it's vacated, is there, I don't believe they can allow the public, it's all of a sudden private, correct? Or is there an easement?
They would have to put some easements for them to even go through if it's going back to
I would agree.
their owners.
I would agree. There should
And it
have
wouldn't
some
just
kind
be
of
public,
recorded
it'd be,
easement.
if there's existing utilities too, you want to make sure you sign
Right.
utility easements as well.
So I think we should table this again and find out from the other property owners whether they're gonna be willing to apply for the vacation of the south side or the north side and then make a decision. Yes, sir.
Kurt Jungers again. Then what happens on change of ownership down the road? You know, like say I sold my house or she sold her house. How does that all play in
Well, it has to
moving
be
forward?
It has to be a recorded easement, so it goes on the title report, so that everybody, if they purchase your property, it's recorded, it's on that document, so they can't say, well, I didn't know that was there.
And back to her point, Pelican Point has become the parking lot, not our side.
No, I
Your
know
guy-
that.
You guys
No,
are the
I know.
vinelanders, you know.
I know that. That's why I'm here.
Yes, Pete.
I'm a simple person. I try to save money and all of this, and why don't we just forget and just leave it how it's been for the last 23 years?
Because you would need to put a cul-de-sac or a hammerhead or something that would go into the property. We can't have just a dead end with a fence. So that's the reason we're trying to figure out how it would work without destroying the property next to it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Is it just because some people were complaining? Is that
I-
what brought this to, well, I guess, yeah, what brought it to everybody's attention?
The request for the vacation is what brought it to the attention of the county.
That's how we found out the gate was even there. I was unaware it was even in the middle of our lawn. And that's how it was put on our radar.
Gotcha.
You got a comment?
Kim Jungers, Dune Lakes, and I'm also on the HOA board. We have had several discussions regarding making our community a gated community. And if that gate is removed, how would we have to go back through this process again to get it put back up?
It would be private, so if the gate, I see. If, I would guess I was on the other direction. If it's vacated, it's private, so
Right,
it no
right.
longer exists.
But if the gate gets removed and the board and the community decide to make it a gated community, then we have to go through this whole process again of putting one back up and.
Yeah, I think where the direction we're leading to is vacating the property, but just doing it correctly so that the other half is vacated. Because if we vacate one half of it, then the other half, now that we're looking at it and now that Public Works it's on their radar, somebody's gonna have to put a cul-de-sac or a hammerhead. I mean, you're gonna be encroaching somebody's yard and ruining it. So the easiest way would be to vacate both sides and then we don't have any traffic issues and work on the easements, get the easements recorded so that whether it's foot traffic, utility easements are already there. So they would, whether it's vacated or not, they're still there. I don't know about the public easement. But anyway, I just think there's a little bit of work that we could do so that it's just one clean vacation on both sides. And that's what I would kind of like to recommend instead of doing a part of it and then waiting for the other half.
Kate, is there a utility easement going down that road currently?
I'm
are you
unaware of what,
any?
right now, I'm unaware of one.
So I mean, if there's not one that's recorded, there needs to be one recorded.
I believe on both plats, it has a utility easement along the edge of the right of way. Should be in the outer 5 feet. We allow for utilities to continue whatever they're doing in the vacation language. So we accept that from our vacation. So the utilities are covered. We could probably do something like that for pedestrian use, since the Dune Lake properties are in agreement about that. We would just change the wording on the vacation to say, including pedestrian use, so accepting pedestrian use from the vacation.
Which I think we need to have legal look at how we're gonna do this before we do anything and make sure that the people on the north side are willing to do their vacation and, do it all at one time.
So how do we do, I mean, do we just deny the vacation right now or leave it so they don't have to do another application? Just continue it for another 6 months, hoping that the other side will request their vacation? What do we do as commissioners? What do we?
I'm not sure. The current request is only for part of it, so
Yeah.
maybe that gets denied. And then we start.
Well, I wouldn't want them to put
I
another.
don't wanna deny, I don't think deny is the right thing to do.
I would think, because one of the owners is going to be contentious, so you're basically looking at a contentious hearing anyways. The RCW is written so that the majority of property owners can make that decision. So it's going to be a matter of something like a petition that says, these owners agree that this should be vacated even though this one doesn't. And they should be allowed time for that. So I would say if we continued this for 6 months and allowed Dune Lakes and those on Viewmont who want to vacate it, get a petition together, have everybody sign it, and then rewrite the language, have legal review it, that we could then go forward at that time.
So do you recommend denying this vacation at the time or just leaving it open? Just leaving it open for 6 months? And leave the public comment open as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So I paid to have scenic connected to Dune Lake for the vacation or for that gate. So how do I get reimbursed, or can I close scenic then and put it back like it was? I mean, I know it's been a long time. It's been over 20 years, but you know, I paid to have that gate put in. I would expect somebody to address how we're gonna get this guy's money back to him with 20 years of interest, if that's what happens. I mean, that's a fair question, I think.
If what happens?
Well, I paid to have the gate,
Right.
we traded, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And so that's a public street. But even though it was 20 years ago, we talked about this, and then the way it was done, and I don't know what time does to things, but you see what I'm saying? So I'm out money to have that done, so we have one way out, not two ways. Now, if we remove the gate, if that's what happens, do I have any recourse at all? Maybe not, maybe I
I
don't.
don't think we're gonna remove the gate. I mean,
Not remove the
We're
gate
gonna-
for passage, remove the gate as a vacation and then having it be right of way. So it's not gonna have a road any longer.
well, you can put shrubs on the road, you can do, if we vacate it, they can block the road however they want, the property owner, so that nobody can go through. You can leave the gate. A vacation, you can leave the gate. We don't really care, it's private property.
I guess what I'm saying is if you can't vacate it.
Oh, well, it sounds, yeah,
Anyway, just a thought.
I don't know that we are reimbursed, because some developments will put roads in, and then when we vacate it, it goes back to
Yeah, just a
kind
thought.
of the property owner, but where you're not the property owner anymore, it would probably go to those that bought property in that development. You're asking more questions than I have answers. But
And as far as whether we would pay you back, I don't believe you would. Unless there was something very specific written in when you did it. I don't believe there's any recourse for that.
A lot of things have changed out there over 20 years. So when that gate originally went in, there was probably nobody on the south side of that gate. That development came later.
Yeah, there's all kinds of,
So, I mean,
the last 20 years have caused a lot of different things to happen, that's for sure. So, yeah, no doubt about that. But you're right, there's been a lot more houses on both sides, Sandcastle, all that stuff's gone in. A lot more traffic, a lot more traffic to be looked at how it gets in and out of there. So anyway, just a question.
quick question for Patty. Did they move was the equipment or the vehicles moved from the road, the center of the road?
Right now, there's just two pickups that park right in up to the
Okay,
gate.
and that would be the fire marshal. I don't know. We need to
They're all
call-
the one homeowner. Yeah, that's across
But they
all
still
of them.
can't block the road because they're supposed to have fire access currently, so I believe we can work. Now their fire marshal knows, he's nodding his head, so we will get those moved from in front of the gate. We will try to get those moved from in front of the gate. Thank you. Okay, so there's another hand that popped up. Okay. Okay, so I guess what the plan is before I make a motion, or if Rob wants to make a motion, we will continue the vacation for 6 months. Within that 6 month, hopefully the other portion of that road will request a vacation. It sounds like it does not have to be 100%. The majority of the homeowners on that, I think on both sides, would be what we would need. Basically, confirmation that they want to do this. And then public access and utility access. So there's things we need to look at. So everybody's in agreement. We're going to extend the hearing for 6 months. We could do 6 months in like 30 days, and I will be gone, or 29 days.
No.
We'll extend it till December.
On December 8th at 11:30. You like
Okay.
then?
November.
Could we do 6 months or sooner? I mean, if we can get the other side to join in the vacation.
think if you're extending the hearing, you need to announce the date and time that you're extending it.
So we could do November and then we can always extend it if we need to. Because our folks really love coming. But I think is November, would there be enough time to get the application in?
So.
Okay. Could we,
We want to get this done before you leave, Cindy.
I know, I'm excited too. I mean, would 3 months or is 3 months not gonna be enough time? Would it be better to do 6 months? Barbara, you mentioned 6 months.
That was just because you said 6 months. We really only need 30 days. We're required by law to post for 20, so
Okay, so if we
we're
do
changing.
45 days or 60 days,
Yes, as long as legal can get us an answer before then, yes.
I think it will be safe to say if we do 60 days, we should.
Yes, that should be plenty of time.
There is time on August 4th at 11:30.
Are you guys okay with an August date? Okay.
We promise we really are trying to work this through.
let's-
This feels
let's do
like
that
it's
then.
Mr. Chair, I move that we continue this hearing until August 4th at 11:30. In the hopes that we would have another vacation application.
I'll second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any other comments or discussion?
Is it the responsibility of the homeowners on the north side to submit a petition, or is the county going to reach out to the homeowners?
We'll follow up with you after this.
Okay.
Okay. So hearing no more discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We'll continue this to August 4th. That concludes this hearing for today.
Okay.
Patty,